Okay, so again, our topic is networking concept, networking devices, media, and connectors. So, bakit hindi tayo mag-start sa answer sheet? So, yung answer sheet nyo kasi is naka-Google Forms na yung lahat ng questions. So, mamaya na lang natin siya i-check. Then, meron tayong isang learning task na dito natin sasagutan through our discussion. So, what is our objective? So, please read, anyone. Yes, Grandeza.
Identify necessary network materials in accordance with established procedures and check against system requirements.
Okay, so highlight natin. So, identify the necessary network material. So, syempre, pag nag-create tayo ng network is meron syempre yung mga materials or hardware na dapat nating gamitin. And syempre, yung mga materials na yun is merong mga specific function. Okay? So, obtain necessary network materials in accordance with established procedures and check against system requirements. So, for example, mag-create tayo ng network, syempre may mga system requirements. Gaano ba kahaba yung media or yung cables? Okay? Ano yung mga dapat natin kailangan? Kailangan ba natin ng router? Kailangan ba natin ng mesh? Okay, so sa pag-create ng network. So let's have a basic concepts of network. So to know some of basic concepts of computer network, watch the video clip. Okay, so Okay. So, based sa mga napanood natin, let's have answer these questions. So first, what is computer network? Based sa napanood ninyo, ano yung computer network? Anyone? Yes, Julia.
When two or more computers are connected together po.
Okay. So, two or more computers. So, hindi lang, for example, meron kang personal area, PC, okay, or laptop. Pero yung laptop ninyo is nakakonect sa internet, it is example of network. Okay? Kasi meron siyang connection so other network, which is yung mga servers. So it is an example of network. So again, it is composed of two or more computers each other. Next tayo, number 2. Bakit ba merong network? What is the main purpose of network? Yes, Rowie.
The main purpose of a computer network po is to communicate and to share data or information po.
Okay. So, kaya daw tayo nagkakaroon ng network is to share information. So, mamaya i-discuss din natin yung mga benefits ng pagkakaroon ng isang network. Next, number 3. How the computers are connected in a network. Ano ba yung mga paraan para magkaroon ng connection yung two or more computers natin? Yes, Roland.
Wired connection tapos wireless connection po.
Thank you, Roland. Very good. So, dalawa yung pwedeng paraan ng pagkaroon ng connection. Wired, so through wire, so mula sa router, papunta sa computer ninyo, or wireless. So, pwede mag-share ng information through Wi-Fi. Okay? Di ba meron na rin tayo sa mga cellphone natin. Nagkakaroon ng hotspot. Okay? So, yun. Next, what are the types of computer network? Yes, Grandeza.
Ano po, ma'am? First po, personal area network, local area network, metropolitan area network, wide area network po.
Okay. So, yung apat na yun is in-highlight dito sa video na to. Then, mamaya, iaalamin pa natin yung iba na types of computer network. So, the first part is computer network. Okay, so what is computer network? Please read. Yes, Minela.
Computer network is a group of two or more computer systems linked together.
Sige, continue mo na.
A group connected computers that allows people to share information.
Okay, thank you. So, it's a group of two or more computer systems. So, hindi lang computer ang ano natin dito, hina-highlight, pati rin yung other computer network, okay, or computer hardware. Next is a group of computers that allows people to share information. So, kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng network is para makuha natin yung mga data. For example, magsisend ka ng data sa iyong kaibigan. So, it's example of computer network. So, what are the benefits of computer network? Please read number 1. Yes, Jasmine.
Number 1, information sharing. Ability to share information and data quickly and inexpensively is one of the popular benefits of network technology.
Okay, number 1 is information sharing. Kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng network or internet is para makapag-share tayo ng information. Okay, kaya tayo may Google, di ba? Para ma-access natin yung mga website na yon. And dahil sa mga website na yun, is nakakakuha tayo ng information. Okay, next, number 2. Yes, John Albert.
Number 2, hardware and the software sharing. The network revolution reduced this cost drastically by making for several users share hardware and software simultaneously.
Okay. So, kaya rin daw tayo nagkakaroon ng network is para magkaroon ng hardware or software sharing. So, first tayo sa hardware sharing. Sa hardware sharing, for example, sa isang opisina, 'di ba? For example, may 10 kang empleyado. And yung 10 empleyado na yun is kailangan ng printer. So sa printer, syempre hindi mo naman kailangan na bumili ng 10 printer. Okay? Through networking is meron tayong, for example, admin. Tapos sa admin, doon nakashare yung printer. So, yung 10 na yon, lahat sila is makaka-access doon sa iisang printer. So, meron tayong hardware sharing. Okay? E di syempre, ikaw as a boss is makakatipid dahil nga may kaalaman ka sa networking. Next naman is software sharing. So, software sharing is meron kang, for example, isang PC. Sa isang PC na yun is doon naka-install yung iisang software. For example, Photoshop. Isa lang yung may license ka na Photoshop. Doon lang nakalagay sa PC na yun. So, through network sharing is pwedeng ikaw as a client is pwede mo ma-access yun sa server mo. Sa server ninyo. So, hindi mo na kailangan na bumili na lahat ng PC na nasa isang opisina is bibili na tagi-isa na Photoshop. Kahit yung isa na lang, then ma-access naman nila dun sa pinaka-server. Next, number 3. Ring.
Centralized administration and support. From single location, the network can perform administrative tasks on any computer on network.
Okay. So, dito, sa number 3 is centralized administration and support. Siguro naman lahat kayo nakapag-try mag-computer shop. Sana. Pero kayo, may experience kayo. So, kung mapapansin niyo sa computer shop, meron doon yung pinaka-admin, which is yung may-ari, for example. Nandun yung admin. Then, yung may mga client siya doon. So, for example, ako, as client, magpapaprint ako. Hindi ko na kailangan mag-save sa flash drive. Okay? Mag-save sa flash drive, tapos bibigay ko kay admin. Ang gagawin ko na lang, tatanungin niya kung anong PC number ka and saan mo sinave. So, yun. So, through do sa admin na yun, is meron siyang centralized administration. Kasi kahit anong files do sa computers na nakakonect do sa networks is pwede niyang ma-access. Okay? So, hindi mo na kailangan ng flash drive or mag-send sa email niya kasi nandun naman yung PC and meron siyang access. Next is pwede rin siyang mag-shutdown. Hindi na isa-isa i-shutdown niya. Pwede niya na lang isang click i-shutdown. Next is pwede rin niya makita yung ginagawa mo dun sa computer. Okay? So, yun yung benefits ng networking. Next is, meron tayong dalawang roles ng networking. The first one is the client and the second one is the server. So, please read what is clients. Yes, Juniche.
Clients, such as the user's computer. Client's computer makes requests for services or data on the network from computers referred to as servers.
Okay, next, please read the servers. Ninela.
Servers are computers that provide services and data to client computers. A computer or device on a network that manages network resources.
Okay, can anyone differentiate the two? Sino po pwede mag-differentiate ng dalawa? Wala. Ano yung difference ni server at ni client? Minela? Sino po kaya? Anyone? Yes, Mariel.
Yung clients po, users po siya ng computer po.
Layo ka muna sa kapatid mo. Baka nag-feedback yung ano niya. Okay na?
Shutdown po yung computer, ma'am. Wait lang po.
Pwede, dyan muna siya mag-explain.
Ano po, ma'am, yung clients po, users po siya ng computer, tapos yung server po, ano po, provider po siya ng services and data po sa mga clients.
Okay. So, alin ang mas mataas, Mariel? Si server o si client? Sa hierarchy nila. Sa roles.
Si server po, ma'am.
Okay, very
Kasi
good.
si server wala po.
I-explain mo. Bakit si server?
Kasi po, ma'am, kung wala pong mag-provide ng service and data po, wala pong makakagamit ng computer po.
Okay, very good. So, thank you, Mariel. So, tama yung sinabi ni Mariel na may hierarchy yan. So, ang pinakamataas dyan is si server. So, yung server ninyo, wala palang picture. So, yung server ninyo is dapat mataas yung specification. Kasi nga, siya yung nagpo-provide ng data, ng information, ng hardware para kay client. So, si server dyan nakalagay si printer. Okay? Kay server, dyan na-access ang mga software. Okay? Na naka-install. Then si client, lahat ng information or kailangan yung mga software is kailangan pupunta pa siya kay server. Okay? So, yun yung difference nilang dalawa. Okay? So, si client, again, is the users of computer. Pag nasira si server, is wala na. Yung informations is hindi niya na ma-access. Okay? So, yun yung difference nilang dalawa. So, meron tayong dalawang classification ng network. The number one is the peer-to-peer network. And the second one, ito yun, yung diniscuss natin kanina, is the client-server network. So please read muna tayo sa peer-to-peer network. Okay, anyone? Yes, Franz.
Peer-to-peer network, there are no dedicated servers and there is no hierarchy among the computers. Each computer functions as both a client and a server, and usually no administrator is responsible for maintaining network.
Okay. Franz, based sa binasa mo, ano ang pagkakaiba ni peer-to-peer at ni client-server?
Yung sa peer-to-peer po is walang hierarchy, wala po nakakataas sa kanila. Tapos po yung sa client and server po, mas nakakataas po yung server kaysa kay client po.
Okay, very good. So dito sa peer-to-peer is a classification of network na lahat sila may sariling PC. Okay? May sarili silang paglalagyan ng software, paglalagyan ng hardware, okay? Paglalagyan ng data. So, ganun yung peer-to-peer. Si client-server is, for example, si client-server naman is pwede siyang isang monitor lang. Okay, mamaya papakita ko sa inyo kung anong itsura nun. Yes, pwede siyang isang monitor, may keyboard, may mouse, tapos lahat ng data niya is nandun sa pinaka-server. Okay, so ganun yung client-server. Wala siyang hard disk, wala siyang RAM, ganun. Monitor lang talaga, mouse and keyboard. Basta nakakonect lang siya sa network, si server at si client. So, yun yung ano niya. So, lahat ng data niya, pag magsisave siya ng information, pupunta kay server. Si peer-to-peer is hindi niya kailangan ng server. So, may PC naman siya, may sarili siyang PC. So, dun siya agad magsisave. So once na nasira yung PC na yon, okay? Ay hindi, sorry. Once na nasira si server, wala na siyang access. So lahat ng nandun sa network na yun, pag nasira si server, wala na silang access doon sa information. Unlike dito, pag nasira lang yung isang PC, so meron pa silang access sa other information doon sa network. So yun yung advantage saka disadvantage. So dito sa peer-to-peer, lahat sila makaka-access sa isa't isa. Okay? Unlike sa server and client, ang pwede lang nilang i-access is yung isang server. Okay? Yung server na yon, kung saan sila nakakonect. Pero yung, for example, meron kang information na naka-hide, is pwede rin nilang itago yun dun sa server. Okay? Basta may mga restriction. So, yung difference nilang dalawa. So, meron tayo, next naman tayo, part 3 ng lesson. Ang topic is types of network. So, sa types of network, yung kanina is classification ha, classification of network. This one naman is types of network. So, the types of networks are distinguished based on the sizes. Gaano ba kalaki yung network? Okay? In terms of number of machine, gaano ba karaming network or machines na nagko-connect sa isa't isa? Geographically, okay? So, ito yung diniscuss kanina na WAN, PAN, okay? So, let's watch this video.
Hello, everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the different network types. And these network types depend on how large they are and how much of an area they cover geographically. Now, most people who have a basic knowledge of networking are familiar with terms such as LAN and WAN. But in addition to those, there are a few more network types that a lot of people are not familiar with. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So let's first talk about a PAN. PAN stands for Personal Area Network. Now this is a type of network that is used on a personal level. It's a small network that is used for connecting devices such as smartphones, tablets, and laptops. And they connect to each other by using wireless technologies such as Bluetooth, infrared, and near field communication, or NFC. But they can also connect by using a wired connection, such as a USB cable. PANs are generally used for transferring small files, such as music, photos, calendar appointments, and so on. And the next type of network is a LAN. Now, LAN stands for Local Area Network. A local area network is a group of devices such as computers, servers, switches, and printers, which are located in the same building, such as in an office or in a home. In other words, in close proximity to each other. The most common type of LAN is an Ethernet LAN, where two or more computers are connected to Ethernet cables using a switch. Now, a WLAN, or Wireless Local Area Network, is a local area network that uses wireless communication instead of wired communication. A wireless LAN is defined as having at least two devices that use wireless communication to form a local area network. A wireless LAN will typically have a Wi-Fi router or a wireless access point for wireless devices such as laptops, tablets, wireless desktops, and smartphones to communicate. So in simple terms, a wireless LAN is a LAN but without using cables. And the next network type is a CAN. Now, CAN stands for Campus Area Network. A CAN is a network that joins two or more LANs together within a limited area. So, for example, a CAN could be a university that has multiple buildings in the same general area that are connected to each other to form a larger network. So these buildings could be different departments on a university's property, with each building having their own LAN in their department. And then the buildings are connected to form a campus area network. And the next network type is a MAN. MAN stands for Metropolitan Area Network. Now, this is a larger network than a CAN. It's a network that spans over several buildings in a city or town. MANs are typically connected using a high-speed connection, such as fiber optic cable. It's a high-speed network that gives the ability for sharing data and resources within a city. And the next one is a SAN, or Storage Area Network. Now, a SAN is a special high-speed network that stores and provides access to large amounts of data. Basically, what a SAN is that it's a dedicated network that's used for data storage. This network consists of multiple disk arrays, switches, and servers. One of the main reasons for using a SAN is because SANs are not affected by network traffic, such as bottlenecks that can happen in a local area network. And that's because SANs aren't really a part of a local area network. It's partitioned off. It's a network all by itself. And then finally, there's the Wide Area Network, or WAN. A WAN is the largest type of network. A WAN includes multiple LANs, CANs, and MANs. It's a network that spans over a large geographical area, such as a country, continent, or even the entire globe. A good example of a wide area network is the internet.
Okay. So lahat po dito na mag-explain sa ating sa part na to is magiging exempted na dun sa performance task 1. So meron na akong nalista si Billones and si Mariel and si Franz. So ulitin ko, lahat ng mag-explain sa part na to is magiging exempted sa performance task 1. Okay, going back is do sa video is meron siyang 7 na diniscuss. Pero hindi na natin isasali yung SAN. Okay? So types of network tayo. Wide area network, 1. Number 2 is metropolitan area network, MAN. Number 3 is campus area network, CAN. 4 is local area network, LAN. And 5, home area network, HAN. Then number 6 is personal area network. So number 1, please read and explain number 1, wide area network. Yes, Jumiche.
Wide area network, composed of several LANs which are distributed over a large geographic area such as country, continent. It uses high-speed, long-distance communication network or satellites to connect computer over wide distance. Hindi, ano po siya, ma'am? Malaki po siyang network na hindi po siya nag-i-stay sa isang lugar po, na malaki po yung ano niya, network.
Okay, ano yung example ng wide area network? Based on sa video. Jumiche.
Wait lang, mama.
Anyone? Sino makakatulong kay Jumiche? Faith.
Internet po, ma'am, yung pinakamalaki, yung example po.
Okay, bakit?
Sa video.
Bakit internet, Faith? Bakit internet yung naging example?
Kasi po yun yung pinaka-ginagamit po ng lahat ng tao.
Okay. So, wide area network is a connection from countries to countries. Okay? So, sa iba't ibang bansa kasi is merong mga servers yan. Okay? So, hindi nyo ma-access yung server na yan kung walang internet. So, siya yung pinakamalaki na type of network, yung wide area network. Next, number 2. Francine?
Metropolitan Area Network or MEN, a network that spans a large city. Large Local Area Network or LAN, but smaller than the area covered by a Wide Area Network or WAN. Ito po yung kadalasan po sa mga cities para po mag-connect yung network like factories, offices, para po magkaroon sila ng connection. Ginagamit po yung Metropolitan Area Network.
Okay. So, ito naman yung mas mababa kay 1, which is yung Metropolitan Area Network. So, city to city, yung natin, yung connection natin dito sa MAN. Then, hindi yung ordinary LAN ang ginagamit. So, based sa video, ang ginagamit na dito is the fiber optics. Okay? Next. Number 3 is campus area network. Yes, Minela.
Computer network that links the buildings and consists of 2 or more local area networks within the limited geographical area. Ito po yung kadalasan nagagamit sa mga universities or sa mga elementary schools po.
Okay, anong pagkakaiba ni MAN tsaka ni CAN? Inela.
Wait lang po. Si CAN po, po siya, yung parang, kunyari po sa isang building may network, tapos sa kabila meron. Bali, doon po siya magka-connect. Tapos si MAN naman po, mas malaki yung, sakop po niya sa map compared kay CAN po.
Okay, very good. So dito kay CAN is building to building. Okay? Yung ang connection nila. So sabi dito sa examples, pwedeng college campus, pwedeng mga office buildings, kasi di ba may mga office buildings na yung same companies, okay, yung buildings sila. Pwedeng military base or industrial complex. So, ganun yung connections nila. Kay MAN kasi city to city. Okay? Or town to town, or barangay to barangay, yung connections nila. Next naman tayo is number 4. Local area network. Ayan. Rowie.
Local area network, the linkage of personal and other computers within a limited area by a high-performance cable so that users can exchange information and share peripheral devices. Yung LAN po is kasunod po siya ng PAN, which mas malaki po siya ng range kaysa po sa PAN. Ito po yung connection ng mga computers in close proximity po with each other.
Okay. So, ano yung mga examples kanina ng LAN?
Computers, printers po, and yun lang po nasulat ko.
Okay. So, sa LAN, sinabi niya, example natin is pwedeng office or home. So, meron tayong dalawang klase ng LAN. Hindi ko lang nasali dito. Merong LAN na wired and merong LAN na wireless. So, sa wired, syempre, may participation yun ng cables. Okay, mula kay router, papunta dun sa PC. Then, sa wireless naman is wala kang cable. Puro lang, wireless. Through Wi-Fi yung connection nyo sa internet. So, dito sila, ng cable na ginagamit natin dito is usually yung mga UTP cable lang. Yung mga ordinary cable lang. Unlike sa CAN, sa MAN, and sa WAN is gumagamit na sila ng mga pangmalakasang cable, which is yung mga fiber optics. Next naman tayo is the HAN. Okay, hindi siya nakasali kanina. Please read. Yes, Arthur.
Is a type of local area network with the purpose of facilitate communication among digital devices present inside or within the close vicinity of a home.
Okay, kaya mo explain, Arthur?
Ano po, ma'am? Ito po yung sa bahay lang po na makakonect po sa mga devices tulad ng computers, phones, and printers po.
Okay, thank you. So sa local, ito na yung specific na type of network na nasa bahay. Kasi di ba may mga, hindi naman lahat dyan ang kinoconnect ninyo sa internet ninyo is PC, di ba? Ngayon, kinoconnect natin sa network natin is yung mga TV. Sabi dito, TV, game consoles, and sabi is notebook or yung mga laptop. So, iba't iba yung kinoconnect natin na dito sa network within our home. Okay? Next. Sino ba? Rain.
PAN or Personal Area Network. A personal area network or PAN is a computer network used for communicating among computer devices including telephone and personal digital assistant in proximity to an individual's body. Yung PAN daw po, for personal use lang daw po siya. Sa inyo lang daw po siya. It's either connected lang po siya sa computer mo at sa cellphone mo or sa dalawang computer mo po.
Okay, anong difference ni PAN tsaka ni HAN? Geographically.
Yung PAN po, sa'yo lang po siya, personal lang po. Yung sa home po, may ka-share ka po, yung family mo po or ganun po.
Okay. So, linawin natin yun. So, si home, syempre, pwedeng malalayo yun. Yung second floor or first floor lang yung connection nila. Si PAN naman is personal area network. Ibig sabihin, personal, sa'yo lang. Tama yung sinabi ni Rain. Pero, gaano ba kahaba or kalaki yung spacing nila doon sa network between PC to cellphone? So, dapat, sabi dito, proximity to an individual body. So, dun lang natin masasabi na yung connection na yun is example of PAN. So, ano yung mga example ng PAN? So, for example, cellphone, magta-transfer ka ng data from cellphone to laptop. So, PAN yun. Then, magpiprint ka. Magpiprint ka naman ng sa laptop mo papunta sa printer. Okay? Example yun ng PAN. Magbo-Bluetooth ka ng cellphone to another cellphone. So, syempre, pag Bluetooth, hindi syempre kailangan sobrang layo. Diba? Kasi pag sobrang layo, mawawala na ng connection. So, example din yun ng PAN. Again, ang layo lang nila is proximity to an individual's body. So, yun. Next na tayo. So, part 4. Part 4 is a common network cables. These are the cables na nakikita natin, okay, or ginagamit natin para magkaroon tayo ng network sa bahay. So, number 1 is the twisted pair. Please read number 1. France.
Number 1, type of copper cabling that is used for telephone communications and most internet networks.
Okay. Wait lang. Sabi dito, a copper. So, let's say, bakit hindi nagsusulat ng aking ano? So, it's a copper cabling that is used for telephone communication and internet network. So, itong type of cables na to is usually nakikita natin sa telephone, okay? Kasi dati is para magkaroon ng internet, dapat meron kang telephone, okay? Ngayon, libre na lang yung telephone, okay? Hindi naman pag wala kayong telephone is wala na kayong internet. Hindi na gano'n. Next is Ethernet network. So mamaya i-discuss natin. Next, number 2. Janelle Fajardo.
A pair of wires forms a circuit that transmits data. The pair is twisted to provide protection against crosstalk, the noise generated by adjacent pairs of wires in the cable.
Okay. So highlight lang natin na this type of wire na is a twisted. Kaya nga siya tinawag na twisted pair. Bakit ba siya twisted? So when the two wires of the circuit are next to each other, wait lang. Walang pen. Wait lang. Para makita. Ayan. So when the two wires of the circuit are next to each other, the magnetic fields cancel each other. So kaya daw siya twisted is para yung magnetic field daw is cancel to each other. This is called the cancellation effect. Without the cancellation effect, your network communication becomes slow because of the interference caused by the magnetic field. So iniiwasan natin dito is magkaroon ng magnetic field. So maano nyo yan sa physics, yung magnetic field. So dahil nga naka-twisted siya, is nagkakaroon ng cancellation effect. So kung may cancellation effect, mas mabilis tuloy mag-transfer ng data. Okay? Yung ating twisted pair. So yung data na sinasabi ko from your router to your PC. Okay? So pag may cancellation effect again is mabilis mag-transfer yung data from your internet to your PC. Kaya siya twisted pair. Next tayo. So meron tayong dalawang basic types of twisted pair. Meron tinatawag na unshielded and the shielded twisted pair. So please read mo na sa unshielded. Sino ba? Ken Vidal.
This type of cable relies solely on the cancellation effects produced by the twisted wire pairs that limit signal degradation. UTP is the most commonly used cabling in networks. UTB cables have a range of 328 feet, 100 meters.
Okay, next is Garcia, Virgin Bed. Shielded twisted pair. Pakibasa.
Shielded twisted pair. Each pair of wires is wrapped in metallic foil to better shield the wires from noise. Reduce electrical noise from within the cable. It's more expensive because of the extra shielding. It is also more difficult to install because of the thickness.
Okay. So meron tayo again is the unshielded and shielded. So based dun sa diniscuss natin kanina, kaya siya twisted is for the cancellation effect. Okay? So pinaka-maximum ng UTP cable, yung haba niya is dapat 100 meters. Okay? And ito daw yung most common use cabling in network. So ito yung mas madalas ninyong makikita sa market. Bakit ba? Parang mas maganda nga yung shielded kasi mas yung magnetic niya is cancellation effect niya is mas maganda. Pero sabi dito, reduces electrical noise from within the cable, so kaya siya shielded. But it is more expensive. Okay? Dahil nga may foil sa loob, is syempre mas expensive siya kaysa kay unshielded. And also daw, it is more difficult to install. Bakit? Dahil makapal. Okay? May mga iba't iba kasing cable tayo may encounter. Syempre, merong makapal or matigas na cable. Usually, color blue yung coating nun. And meron naman mga cable na malalambot lang. So, syempre, mas mura yun. Yun naman ay color gray yung coating. Okay? So, yun yung difference nilang dalawa. Next tayo. So, merong mga iba't ibang category ng cable. UTP cable comes several categories that are based on two factors. The number one is the wires in the cable. Gaano ba karami yung wires dun sa loob? And the number of twists in those wires. Siyempre, kaya nga, di ba, may twist siya para sa cancellation effect. So, category 3 tayo. Please read lahat ng nasa category 3. Faith. Faith. Okay. Wala. Isabel.
Category 3 is the wiring used for telephone systems and Internet LAN at 10 megabyte per second and has 4 pairs of wires.
Okay, wait lang ha. Sorry. Na-distract ako. Okay. So, sa category 3 natin is wiring used for telephone system. So, ito yung makikita ninyo. Kung naka-PLDT kayo with telephone, ito yung makikita ninyong manipis na cable. Okay? Manipis yung cable. Libre naman yun. Na mula doon sa router, papunta sa telephone ninyo. So, kaya usually, pag walang internet, wala ring telephone. Okay? Minsan. Okay? Pwedeng mangyari yun. So, yun yung, manipis lang siya, manipis na cable, parang charging yung itsura niya, pero yung dulo, hindi. Okay, plastic. So, mamaya ipapakita ko sa inyo kung ano yung category 3, kasi mag-distract tayo. So, dito rin, sa category 3 is meron siyang 4 pairs of wires. Katulad din kanina ng twisted pair kanina. So, ito yung type of, ito yung mga type ng mga twisted pair. Okay, ano yung mga, category. So, twisted siya, pero iba-iba yung klase niya na category. And iba rin yung function niya. Okay? Next naman is the category 5 and category 5E. Please read itong part na to. Sophia Mugi.
Category 5 and Category 5E have 4 pairs of wires with a transmission rate of 100 Mbps.
Okay, pakiread itong
5E is the most common network cables used. Has more twists per foot than Category 5 wiring.
Okay, thank you. So, Category 5 and Category 5E. So, ito yung malambot na cable. Okay, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, colored gray yung itsura niya. And ito yung mura. So, meron siya rin 4 pairs of twisted and ang transmission niya is 100 megabytes per second. So, medyo pwede na. Pero meron syempre mas mabilis dyan, which is yung category 6. Okay? So, sabi dito, ano yung difference ng 5 tsaka 5E? 5 is the most common network cables used daw. Ito na yung mas ginagamit natin. And it has more twists per foot than category 5 wiring. Okay. So, next naman is the category 6. Cables used for plastic dividers to separate the pairs of wire. So, ito yung difference nilang dalawa. Wait lang. Ayan. So, yun. And, so, dito sabi is may plastic divider sa gitna which prevents interference and pairs also have more twists than category 5E. So, balikan natin yung itsura ni unshielded twisted pair. So, sabi kanina, ito yung common na cable ng 5E. Okay? Meron twisted, 4 twisted. Okay? Sa 5 cat 6 naman daw is merong plastic sa gitna. So, yun yung difference nilang dalawa. May plastic daw sa gitna para mas mapahiwalay yung mga cable sa isa't isa and mas twisted siya kaysa sa 5E. Okay, so syempre kung mas twisted siya, mas maganda yung effect nun or performance nun, no? Pagka-transfer ng data. Number 2 na cable naman, it is the coaxial cable. So, pabasa na lang nung definition. Ruivel, Montañez.
Coaxial cable is a copper cord cable surrounded by a heavy shielding. Coaxial cable is used to connect the computers to the rest of the network.
Okay, so coaxial cable, yung iba dito is commonly, so for example, number 3, ayan, is kung gumagamit kayo ng antenna, okay, so nakakita na rin kayo ng coaxial cable. So thickness and T-net. So meron tayong dalawa, yung thicknet and T-net. Is a coaxial cable used in network operating at 10 Mbps or 10 megabyte per second. Then this one naman is 10 megabyte per second siya, pero ang maximum niya na length is 500 meters. Dito naman is 185 meters. Next, number 4 tayo. Yung RG6 is higher quality daw ng RG59 with more bandwidth and less susceptibility to interference. So it's a type of cable din na ginagamit natin sa internet. Next naman tayo. So parts of coaxial, meron siyang outside insulator, then yung copper mesh niya, yung pang-cover, then meron pa siyang insulation na nasa gitna, then the copper wire. Next, yung type of cable na ginagamit natin is the fiber optic. Sige, pabasa po ng 1 and 2. Ruiven na ba? Nico.
It is made of glass. Fiber optic cable is not affected by EMI or RFI. All signals are converted to light pulses to enter the cable and are converted back into electric signals when they leave it.
Okay, 3 and 4, Meaver.
Fiber optic cable usually is more expensive to use than copper cable, and the connectors are more costly and harder to assemble. Fiber optic cable can reach distances of several miles or kilometers before the signal needs to be regenerated.
Okay, so yung fiber optic kung kanina puro meron kang nakikitang copper, okay? Dito naman sa fiber optic, ang mas ginagamit niya is made of glass. And all signals are converted to light pulses. Kaya siya may glass dyan kasi mas mabilis mag-transfer or magre-reflect yung light, okay, yung signal dun sa cable. Then, sabi dito, ang fiber optics, ang disadvantage niya is more expensive. It is more expensive to use than the copper cable. And it's harder to assemble. Kasi di ba nung diniscuss natin yung OHS doon sa week 1, ang dami niyang mga paalala. Kasi may pwedeng ka magkaroon ng glass shards. Okay? And mahirap siyang i-assemble. Dapat sure ka na yung mga gagamitin is merong mga sharp edges. Next is yung fiber optic daw is reach distance of several miles. Kung kanina si copper is yung mga kilometers lang, dito naman is miles. Okay? Before the signals needs to be regenerated. So meron tayong dalawang type ng fiber optic. The multi-mode and the single mode. Please read, Nina, yung multi-mode.
Multi-mode is the cable that has a thicker cord than single-mode cable. It is easier to make, can use simpler light sources such as lighting, emitting these LEDs and work well over distances of few kilometers or less.
Okay, how about the single mode? Laresma. Laresma, hindi ka narinig. Wala pa rin sounds. Wala pa rin. Okay, ayusin mo muna yung mic mo, Laresma. Start muna tayo kay JB, single mode.
Single mode is the cable that has a very thin core. It is harder to make, uses lasers as light source, and can transmit signals dozens of kilometers with ease.
Okay, so tingnan natin yung single. Okay. Tingnan muna natin itong si multi-mode. So sa multi-mode, okay, ayan yung light. Okay, then pwede siyang mag-bounce. Okay, mag-bounce yung light. Okay, may space siya para mag-bounce yung cable, yung light dun sa cable. Sa single mode naman, hindi. Isa lang ang pwedeng pasukan ng light. Okay, isa lang ayan, wala siyang paraan para mag-bounce. Okay? So dito, works well over a distance of few kilometers or less. So ito daw yung usually ginagamit pag malapitan lang, nakakapitan ng fiber optic. Dito naman, sa single mode, it's harder to make a uses laser as a light source and can transmit signal dozen of kilometer with ease. So ito yung pangmalaluan na ginagamit pag gagamit tayo ng fiber optic. So next, last part tayo is the network hardware. So these are the common na ginagamit natin para magkaroon tayo ng network. Okay, hindi lang PC, hindi lang kailangan internet. Okay, ano yung mga hardware para magkaroon ng connection silang lahat. So network hardware, please read, Nina.
Network hardware. Networking hardware may also be known as network equipment or computer networking devices. Units which are the last receiver or generate data are called host or data terminal equipment. All these terms refer to devices facilitating the use of computer network. Specifically, the immediate data in a computer network.
So network hardware tayo, also known for mga network equipment and network devices. Units are the last receiver or generates the data. So, pwedeng siya yung PC or siya yung source ng internet. So, yun yung pwedeng type ng network hardware natin. The first thing na kailangan natin is hindi talaga literal na hardware, which is, ang kailangan din natin is the network operating system. Pag mag-test na tayo is, number one na i-install, pangalawa na i-install natin sa PC ng server, okay, is the network operating system. Ano ba yung network operating system? Please read Aaron.
A network operating system is a supervisory software program that resides on the server. It can control how the network operates by defining who can use the network and how information and peripherals are shared among users.
Okay. So, network operating system is supervisory software program that resides on the server. So, dito kasi sa network operating system, iba siya sa ordinary na operating system. Okay? Dito sa network operating system, pwede tayong maglagay or mag-set ng IP address. Okay? Doon sa network. Pwede nating ma-access yung PC, lahat na nandun sa network. Napaka-powerful niya na type of server. Okay? Server, operating system. Next naman is a file server. Again, si file server is iba siya sa workstation or sa client. Please read ano po ang server. Pasta.
File server. A file server is a high-capacity computer that provides various resources to the network, the heart of the network. With a large amount of RAM and storage space, a fast network interface card, and a tape backup device.
Okay, yung file server natin is dapat daw, again, highlight natin, high capacity computer na magpo-provide ng various resources to the network. So, kasi nga, server siya, lahat ng software is dapat nandoon. Okay? Kasi nga, yun yung i-access ni client. And si server din, dyan din nagsisave ng mga file. So, dapat daw, malaki yung RAM, large amount yung RAM, and yung storage space, and meron siyang fast network interface card. Kasi nga, yung network card, yan yung way natin para makakonect tayo sa ibang network. Okay? Or sa internet. So, sabi rin dito, highlight natin, it is the heart of the network. Okay? So, pag nawala si file server, wala rin yung mga files ninyo. Hindi nyo na rin makukuha yung mga files or hindi rin makakagalaw yung mga clients. Kasi nga, lahat ng kailangan nila is nandun sa file server. Next is the workstation. Please read. Sino pa hindi? Laresma, sige.
A computer in a network is called workstation or client. A computer connected to a network need a network interface card. Not necessarily need flash disk drives, and hard disk can be saved on the file server.
Okay. So, ang workstation is tinatawag natin din na client. Ayan. It is a computer na nakakonect sa network. So, hindi siya yung server. It's an ordinary computer. Then, dapat lang is meron siyang interface card or network interface card. Siyempre, kailangan yun para nga makakonect sa network. And also, sabi dito, hindi kailangan ng client na magkaroon ng flash disk drive or hard disk. Kasi nga, lahat ng mga files mo is isi-save mo naman na kay file server. Okay, next. Next is the end computing. Ito si end computing, sana nakapunta kayo or nakadaan kayo sa ICT room. Sa end computing, yun yung device, maliit siya na device na nandun sa likod ng monitor. Okay? So, i-discuss through this video kung ano ang end computing. Wait.
Today's computers are incredibly powerful. So powerful, in fact, that just one PC or server has enough power to keep 10, 20, or even more users productive and happy at the same time. N-computing drastically reduces the cost of computing by allowing many people to simultaneously share a single computer. It's perfect for schools, governments, and businesses of any size. Tens of millions of people use N-computing virtual desktops every day, and you can set up your N-computing virtual desktops in just minutes. It all starts with N-computing's remarkable vSpace software. vSpace creates multiple virtual desktops on a single PC or server. Each unique desktop is sent to a small N-computing device. The device connects to each user's own keyboard, monitor, and mouse. And each user can have their own private programs and data all running at the same time. And with N-computing, everybody gets a rich, full PC experience. In fact, everyone will feel as if they're working on their very own PC. By sharing resources, you can drastically reduce your costs. You can expect to save up to 75% on hardware, 75% on maintenance, and 90% on electricity. And computing frees you from the crippling cost of obsolescence. Now, when it comes time to replace your PCs, you only have to replace one PC for every 10, 20, or 30 users. That also reduces your e-waste by up to 95%. The overwhelming global acceptance of N-computing has allowed tens of millions of people to use this technology daily in over 140 countries around the world. N-computing has been installed on metal racks in world-class data centers and metal shacks in emerging markets. We offer the greenest computer on earth while complementing and improving enterprise architectures. Never before has a single technology connected so many people at such a low cost. With low cost, great performance. Now, when it comes time to replace your PC, their own private programs and data all running.
Okay. Ito yung N-computing. Okay. So, yung N-computing is meron siyang, ito yung maliit na device na nakikita ninyo. So, ito ay, ang kailangan niya ay server. Okay, ito yung server, yung vSpace na yun. Then, monitor, keyboard, and mouse. So, yun yung kailangan ninyo. And also, yung N-computing. So, ano yung process niya? Kahit wala siyang sariling PC, is dahil nakakonect yung ano niya, yung N-computing doon sa server, okay, kasi isa siyang network, nakakaroon siya ng virtual na PC. Okay? So, lahat na naka-install dun sa server na yun is pwede niyang i-access. Okay? Kung anong kayang gawin ng server, kaya rin gawin ng client. Kasi nga virtual. Okay? So, pwedeng lahat ng PC na to, so ilan to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 na nakakonect kay server, is pwede nilang buksan sabay-sabay yung mga software na meron si server. Okay? Na para talagang literal na meron kang sariling PC. So, yun yung ano ng N-computing. Mas nakakamura ka. Okay? Kasi, pero ang price pala ng N-computing is nasa 8,599. Okay? Yun yung ano, syempre, wala ka namang mabibiling PC na nasa 8,599 na mabilis. Okay? Pero ang disadvantage niya, yung napansin ko disadvantage niya, kasi ito yung gamit natin sa school, is pag Photoshop, kasi nga Photoshop is mabigat na file, kasi nga gumagamit tayo ng video card. Okay? And malaki yung space niya rin sa RAM. Pag nag-edit yung mga students, nagre-reklamo sila kasi yung mouse is hindi sumusunod sa kanila kasi biglang tatalon yung mouse. So, yun disadvantage niya. Pag medyo mabigat yung file na inopen ninyo sabay-sabay, mahirap. Pero kung for example, mag-word ka lang naman, magpa-PowerPoint or mag-code ka, magpo-program ka ng website, okay lang. Pero kung pang mabigatan, hindi ko siya nire-recommend na gamitin. So, ano lang kailangan ulit is a server and an N-computing. So, sa N-computing, ikakabit yan sa likod ng monitor, ng mouse, and the keyboard. So, yun yung function ng N-computing. So, sinama ko siya dito kasi hindi siya common na makikita ninyo sa market. So, Ito ay ginagamit lang sa mga government places kasi nga mas makakamura sila. Next naman is the repeaters. Please read ang repeaters, Jen Robert. John Robert.
A repeater is a device that regenerates and amplifies signals to create long-distance network. Simplifies to receive, amplify, and rebroadcast the signals. Some repeaters provide the basic error checking, can be separate devices, and can be incorporated into concentrators and inexpensive used to overcome distance limitations.
Okay, so ang repeaters is from the word na repeaters is nagre-repeat siya or ina-amplify niya yung signal. For example, nasa isang floor kayo or kunyari, nasa bahay. Then gusto mo magkaroon din ng wifi sa garahe. So, ang gagawin niya, yung signal na nasa sala is i-amplify niya dun sa alabas. Okay? Kung ano yung signal ninyo is i-repeat niya dun sa labas. So, para magkaroon ng signal. Kasi meron tayong meron tayong mga may mga places na dead spot. Okay? Ibig sabihin nun, mahirap magkaroon ng signal. Kasi merong pwedeng may nakaharang na pader. Okay? Kaya nahihirapan kayo magkaroon ng signal dun sa area na yun. So, pwede nyo gamitin ang repeater. Pero ngayon, pinapalitan na natin ang repeater. Mas gumagamit na tayo ng mesh Wi-Fi router. So, ito, madalas natin gamitin sa makikita sa mga PLDT promo. Okay? Kung mag-ano kayo sa PLDT, so, libre lang to. Pero parang may specific na dapat kang i-subscribe bago ka magkaroon ng libre nito. Pero yung prices niya, sa mesh Wi-Fi, is meron siyang 3 na mesh. Okay, 3 na mesh na ma-avail. So, yung 3 mesh na yon is worth 15,000. Okay, medyo pricey nga talaga siya. Pero, ano ba ang function ng mesh Wi-Fi? Rich na Pakibasa. Ano ang mesh Wi-Fi? Mariel? Nandiyan ba kapatid mo, Mariel?
Apo, ma'am.
Diyan na lang sa signal mo, baka nahirapan Babasahin mo na lang sa account mo. Gauran, lahat ba nakapagbasa na, Francine? Okay, sige, Rich na magbasa na. Tingnan ko lang sana hindi pa nagbabasa.
Mesh Wi-Fi is a whole home Wi-Fi system built to eliminate dead zones and to provide uninterrupted Wi-Fi throughout your home. Mesh routers enable devices in your network to have faster speed, better conversion, more reliable.
Okay, thank you. So, mesh Wi-Fi routers natin. So, ano yung nangyayari sa mesh Wi-Fi? Para rin siyang repeater, nagre-repeat. Okay? And nag-eliminate daw ng dead zone sa inyong bahay. So, paano siya nangyayari? So, pasensya na sa mga kaso na natahol. Okay. Okay. So, ito yung, for example, nandito yung router natin. Dito nakalagay yung router. Ayan. So, yung signal niya is hanggang dito lang. Okay? So, meron kang mesh wifi. So, sa mesh wifi, kinabit pa siya doon sa pinakatuktok ng bahay ninyo. So, dito, di ba may signal? Sakop ni mesh. Ayan, nag-overlap sila. So, lalakihan niya pa yung signal. So, mag-create pa siya ng another na area na pwede pa mag-expand yung signal nito ni number 1. Okay? So, meron ka ng number 2 na signal. So, yung signal mo is hanggang dito na. So, meron ka pang dead spot. Yung nandito sa part na to, dead spot pa siya. So, mag-create ka pa or maglalagay ka pa ng mesh wifi dito. For example, dito sa kwarto na to. So, ito yung number 3 na signal. So, dahil na nag-overlap, itong maliit na signal na to, okay? And meron pa siya dito sa number 3. Ayan. So, i-expand niya pa, re-regenerate niya yung signal. So, aabot na siya dito sa pinaka-dead spot ninyo. So, yung signal ninyo na ganito lang kaliit, yung sa number 1, kaya niya nang palakihin dahil dun sa mesh wifi ninyo. Okay? Basta yung nagpatong yung dalawang signal, okay? Basta abot ni number 1, yung signal, ay abot ni number 2, yung signal ni number 1, i-regenerate niya yun. Okay? Then, kung abot ni number 3, yung number 2 na signal, i-regenerate niya yun. So, yun yung ano nila. Ang kagandahan ng mesh wifi. Pinapalaki niya yung signal at tinatanggal niya yung dead zone sa inyong bahay. So, sabi dito, yung mesh routers daw natin, or mesh Wi-Fi, is have faster speeds and greater coverage and more reliable connection. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya agad-agad or hindi siya basta-basta mapuputol. Next tayo. Next is the bridges. So, sa bridges naman is, sorry, Joanne, sige, please read.
Naririnig po ko, ma'am.
Naririnig ko.
Bridges is a device that links to homogeneous packet broadcast local network. It accepts all packets from each network address to devices on the other, buffer them and retransmits them to the other network.
Okay, so sa bridges naman is meron tayong dalawang network. Then gusto ninyong magkaroon sila ng connection. So pwede tayong gumamit ng bridge. Okay, siguro next meeting is malalaman ninyo kung ano yung purpose ng bridge. So bakit ba siya ginagamit? Okay? So again, it connects the two links of homogeneous packet broadcast local network. So dalawang local area network na gusto nyong magkaroon ng connection. Okay, so parang may internet ka dito, then may another internet ka dito, then gusto nyong magkaroon ng connection yung network na yun. Yung dalawang network na yun. So gagamit kayo ng bridge. So next and last is these three. Tatlong slide na lang tayo. Yung hub, yung switch, and the router.
Hello, everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the difference between a hub, a switch, and a router. Now, all three of these devices are similar, but there is a difference in the way they handle data. So we'll first talk about a hub. Now, the purpose of a hub is to connect all of your network devices together on an internal network. It's a device that has multiple ports that accepts Ethernet connections from network devices. Now, a hub is considered not to be intelligent because it does not filter any data or has any intelligence as to where the data is supposed to be sent. And that's because the only thing a hub knows is when a device is connected to one of its ports. So when a data packet arrives at one of the ports, it is copied to all of the other ports. So all the devices on that hub sees that data packet. So again, a data packet comes into one port, then the hub will just rebroadcast that data to every port that has a device connected to it. So even if this computer here only wanted to communicate with this computer over here, these other computers would still receive the data even though the data was not intended for them. So when this happens, it not only creates security concerns, but it also creates unnecessary traffic on the network, which wastes bandwidth. Now, a switch is very similar to a hub. It's also a device that has multiple ports that accepts Ethernet connections from network devices. But unlike a hub, a switch is intelligent. A switch can actually learn the physical addresses of the devices that are connected to it. And it stores these physical addresses, called MAC addresses, in its table. So when a data packet is sent to a switch, it's only directed to the intended destination port, unlike a hub, where a hub would just rebroadcast that data to every port. So as an example, if this computer here wanted to communicate with this computer over here, the data packet arrives at the switch, and then the switch will look at its table of MAC addresses and matching ports and deliver the data to the correct port. And then the data packet would only go to that computer. So that's the major difference between a hub and a switch. So as a result, switches are far more preferred over hubs because they reduce any unnecessary traffic on the network. So as a review, a hub only detects that a device is physically connected to it, and a switch can detect specific devices that are connected to it because it keeps a record of the MAC addresses of those devices. Now, hubs and switches are used to exchange data within a local area network. For example, such as in your home network or in a business. They are not used to exchange data outside their own network, such as out.
Okay. Doon muna tayo sa hub and switch. Anyone? Can you differentiate? Ano yung difference ng hub tsaka ng switch? Basis of visual. Yes, Janelle.
Yung hub po is, dinadetect niya lang po physically na nakakonect na po yung device. Pero yung switch po is, nadedetect niya po kung ano yung address ng device na kumonect po. And yung hub po is, kapag po nag-send ng file or data yung isang device, masisend po sa lahat ng nakakonect po sa hub. Pero sa switch po is, i-deliver lang po dun sa naka-pair dun sa device na nag-send.
Okay, thank you, Janelle. So, very good. So, tama yung sinabi ni Janelle. So, sino yung mas matalino? Siyempre, mas matalino is the switch. Kasi nga, si switch is nagsisave siya ng MAC address. Ano po ba yung MAC address? Ang MAC address is the numbers or serial numbers na nandun sa inyong computer or devices. So, lahat tayo is merong MAC address, unique MAC address. So, dahil doon, si switch, nagkakaroon tuloy siya na specific na kung saan magsisend through the MAC address. Unlike a hub na hindi siya nakakapag-save ng MAC address na kung ano yung mga devices na nakakonect sa kanya, hindi niya nasisave yun. Basta ang gagawin niya lang is kung ano yung sinend ni computer 1, ibo-broadcast niya yun sa lahat ng computer na nakakonect. So, yun yung disadvantage. So, meron siyang nasasayang na bandwidth. Okay? Unlike a switch na specific, okay, specific na computer, kung kanino si computer 1, kung saan siya magsisend, directly dun sa computer na sisender niya. Okay? Next is, hina-highlight dito na si hub and switch daw are used lang sa local area network natin, which is yung, for example, sa bahay ninyo, sa office. Okay? So, kung ano yung mga machines na nandoon, sila lang yung nag-exchange ng mga information. Pero, next naman is the router. Ano ba yung function ng router? Ay, nawala. So, sorry.
Hello, everyone. E-address. It's where the router comes in. Hubs and switches are used to exchange data within a local area network. For example, such as in your home network or in a business. They are not used to exchange data outside their own network, such as out on the internet. Because to exchange or route data outside their own network to another network, such as out on the internet, a device needs to be able to read IP addresses. And hubs and switches do not read IP addresses. So that's where the router comes in. Now, a router does exactly what its name implies. A router is a device that routes or forwards data from one network to another based on their IP address. When a data packet is received from the router inspects the data's IP address and determines if the packet was meant for its own network or if it's meant for another network. If the router determines that the data packet is meant for its own network, it receives it. But if it's not meant for its own network, it sends it off to another network. So a router is essentially the gateway of a network. So here we have a private network with its router, and we'll refer to this as the red network, indicated by the red colored screens on the computers. And over here, you're going to have different data packets indicated by their different colors, which represents different IP addresses, and they are going to be entering the red network's router from the internet. Now, the router is only going to accept the red data packets because they are the only ones that are intended for this network. So all of the other data packets, the yellows, blues, greens, etc., will be rejected by this router because they were not intended for this network because their IP addresses were not meant for this network. Now here is an expanded view of routers over the internet. There are 4 networks here indicated by their different colors, and each network has their own router along with their hubs or switches and their computers. So right now, as you can see, each network is just exchanging information within their own network. Their data is not going out on the internet, so they are not communicating with other networks. They are just exchanging data within their own network using their hub or switch. Now let's go ahead and exchange data between different networks. So let's say, for example, that this computer here on the red network wants to communicate with a computer here on the blue network. So for this to happen, the data packet has to leave their own network and go out on the internet. So the computer sends their data and it goes to the network's router. And once the data packet reaches the router will look at the IP address of the data packet and then forward the data out on the internet to the next router, and then make its way to the blue network's router, and then to the intended destination computer. So in a nutshell, this is how routers work. So in conclusion, hubs and switches are used to create networks, while routers are used to connect networks.
Okay, based na sa video, anong function ni router?
Hello, this to happen, the data packet.
Anyone? Yes, Lares mo.
Gateway po siya from another network po.
So, paano siya
Hello,
nagpa-function?
and so the computers.
So, paano siya nagpa-function? The rest mo.
Basically po sa sa IP address ng another network. Pass po sa router po, ma'am.
Tapos, sige, continue. Nabibitin ako dun sa explanation niya.
Pass to pass po siya sa router hanggang ma-send po siya sa from another network po sa computer po, ma'am.
Okay. So, dito, si router is, excuse me. Si router is, sabi dito, is kinoconnect niya, ang switch at hub is nag-create ng network. So, syempre, pag sinaksak mo yung mga computer dun sa switch, is nagkakaroon ng network. Kasi nga, it's a connection of two or more computer. So, dahil nga nagkaroon ng two or more computer, so meron siyang network. Okay? Sa bahay ninyo. Pero, yung network niya, yung sharing of network niya is between do sa mga computers lang na nakasaksak kay switch. Pero pag si switch ay sinaksak mo kay router, si router kasi is meron siyang connection sa internet. Okay? So, dahil nga meron siyang connection sa internet, is pwede siyang mag-communicate sa another network. Okay? So, yun yung sinasabi niya. Si router is nakakapag-communicate sa another network. Okay? So, for example, another switch or another router. So, yun yung niya. So, paano siya nakakapag-communicate? Kung si switch is nakakapag-send ng data through MAC address, okay? Dahil nga sa mga machine natin, dito naman, si router is nakakapag-communicate through IP address. So, every router is na nakakonect sa internet is meron siyang sariling IP address. Unique IP address. Kasi pag wala yung unique, hindi yan unique. So, kung ano yung sinend ko sa yung picture, baka maligaw yun. Okay? Parang bahay. Okay? Address ng bahay mo. So, ganun din sa internet. Meron siyang unique na IP address. So, for example, merong magsisend ng data sa'yo. So, ang pagsisend ng data na yun is through sa code na merong IP address na papasok dun sa router mo. Pero kung hindi naman sa'yo yung data, lalagpasan lang siya ng router mo or i-reject na yun. Kasi nga, hindi yun yung IP address mo. So, yun yung niya. Next is, i-highlight lang natin. Kaya merong mga part na, may mga nahuhuli, okay, through yung mga scam sa internet, sa mga kalokohan na ginagawa sa internet, yung mga NBI, dahil nga, meron tayong IP address. So, through IP address, malalaman nila kung saan yung location nung gumagawa nun. Okay? Pwedeng makita sa IP address na nasa ibang bansa. Okay? Pang ibang bansa yung IP address na yun. Or sa local lang. And through IP address, pwede siyang mag-communicate tawag dito, sa internet provider na yun. Then, pag na-type yung IP address na yun, so malalaman nila yung information dun sa gumawa ng scam na yun. So, kaya ingat-ingat sa paggawa ng kalokohan kasi nga, meron tayong tinatawag na IP address. Okay? So, yun yung difference ng router, ni switch, saka ni hub. Again, si hub and switch is sila yung nag-create ng network sa bahay ninyo. Then, si router naman, siya yung nagko-connect sa network to another network sa labas ng bahay ninyo. So, yun lang. Any questions po? May question po ba? So, ito lang ang performance 2 natin. Ay, performance task 1. So, si Billones, Mariel, Franz, Maglalang, and Jumiche, go. Gauran, Minelatan, Chloe, Arthur, Reen, and Janelle Fajardo. And the rest mo pala. So, sila yung exempted sa ating performance task 1. So, yung performance task 1 gagawin...
Thank you, ma'am.
Ha? Hello?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So, yung performance task 1, ayusin ko pa, pero nagko-concentrate pa ako sa paggawa ng grades. So, mamaya meron na akong ilalabas na final grade. Okay, nagko-concentrate pa akong gumawa ng grade. So, ito yung nagiging... So, wait lang. Mamaya na pala. Naka-record tayo. Balikan ko lang yung learning task answer sheet natin bago ako mag-discuss ng grades. So, ito yung answer sheet natin. Nakikita ba? Ayan. Okay. So, as submitted, alam nyo, ginagawa ko na lang kalokohan yung pangalan. Kasi gusto ko sana baguhin nyo man lang yung pangalan. Okay, yung iba hindi talaga makapagpasa lang. Tapos, learning task, ayan, place the screenshot. So, yung screenshot dapat po kita yung, dito, yung pangalan ninyo or yung email. Okay, then, reflection. I understand that, I realize that, then proof of attendance. So, mamaya na yung proof of attendance natin. Wait now. Nasaan ba yung ano?